Hello, welcome back. This could be a bit of a long one. I got a couple of things to show. So before we get to the dividends, actually. So this is the welcome back to the home of the worst investor on YouTube. I most certainly am. This is not financial advice. Got to remind you of that one. This is also not made for kids. Not that there's any swearing or anything. It's very long, boring, and complicated, and I don't see for you being excited by the fact that I'm making pennies a month. And I haven't got visuals to excite children. Oh, let me look at that. It looks awesome. I haven't got that. Not a high-tech YouTuber. Not drawing and stuff, so definitely not made for kids. So I always got to say on YouTube when I upload videos. So, what I've done this month now, I've actually decided, even though Trading212 accounts for return of capitals and their dividend totals, which is why I got £4,000 odd there, one does include a £1,035 return of capital as a cash payment from EPIC, which absolutely devastated my capital gains side of things. And then I've also had return of capital, small amounts from other bits and pieces. So I've decided to wipe them from the dividend side of things. I never included the £1,000 one, but every now and again, a couple of these have paid me back a little bit of capital. So I've now decided to get rid of them from what I'm recording my end. And I've adjusted one or two things. So for last month, June, this is June, not July's income, June, I actually had originally £217 thanks to a £150 odd payment from VSL, which is VPC Specialty Lending. I have removed that, so now June's dividend income is actually £62.69. So from my end, it's that. From Trading212's perspective, it was £217.21. Right? So then I've also finally decided to add on to my monthly, well, my yearly way of doing this, my yearly recordings, I suppose. Each year is a different what's these called? Spreadsheet. They're not all on the same one. So I should have done really, but I like to keep them separate just in case I want to put other bits and pieces along the way for each year, and you know what I mean? Maybe work out some charts and bits and pieces and extra stuff. So I've done for my quarterly on a separate one, but I might play around, put stuff on here. I don't know. You never know with me, so I have these ideas. So what I've done, I've got my yearly totals by here. I update as I go along, but I've also worked out what my monthly, weekly, and daily thing is. Right, so I've been aware of how you can do this, and I've also worked out. No, I think I've gone on a tangent there. No, I saw how Paul Briscoe did this the other day, and he's actually added on the thing, on dividend chart thing he does, what his monthly, weekly, and daily thing would be, as well as where he can afford to retire. That was interesting. It's like this is how much he needs to retire each year in certain countries. So that's an interesting one. That's definitely an interesting one. I think he intends to actually retire abroad somewhere one day, definitely for sure. But he had this sort of thing. So I decided to add on mine just to, again, see perspective. So that's that. I've also updated what I've been following tracking my quarterly dividends. Because I'm not including the return of capital, I've adjusted this. So this originally is from Word, because I was struggling to get certain charts in here at the time and stuff like that. And luckily, although I can't find a version on here where I can actually show at the top each column the actual totals, I was able to copy and paste it from Word, and I've got it in here. So this is, and I've saved it as a template, so I can just do this for monthly as well. See what I mean? I'll add it in somewhere. This is on a random piece of stuff. The amount of things I've tried to track in and work and stuff are honestly ridiculous. So I've adjusted my quarterlies, and I actually went back to 2020 and realised, because there's a ton of like a penny here and 2 pence here and stuff like that, I couldn't be bothered to add it at the time. I've now added in, so I've corrected it. So I've now actually got £11 for the second quarter instead of 3, £11 instead of 5 for the third quarter, 35 instead of 30 odd quid. That makes a difference, doesn't it? So with that, we can now get to the actual video. Yes, I've been with a few doublers from the monthly payers because the monthly ones decided to delay, pushing to it's either June or this month, and then they decide to pay it back again at the end of the month. This happens every once in a while, so right, my test just dropped out, so we're gonna not click on the side, so it's just gonna go through. Right, here we go. 54p from Vanguard UK Gilt, which is government bonds, 85p from FTSE Emerging Markets, which is the equity side of things. I'm going to be buying a separate equity investment trust for emerging markets. So this and the other one I've got will be going, right? Then 8p from the Eurozone government bond. 55p from the FTSE 250. I don't know why I got confused in that one. 20p from the USD Treasury bond, which is US government bonds, right? FTSE 100 then was 40p. The Vanguard USD Emerging Markets Government Bond, 28p. So Emerging Markets Government, too much. And then finally the S&P 500, 46p. We got 2 shares of that. They're very expensive. It's a bit, not much paid out there, but yeah, it is very low in terms of the dividend yield. But hey, there we are. 840 then from Assura, which I believe is paying a special this month coming out of August, so we shall see on that one. Yeah, I did down again this month, so we'll see. 12p from the income shares Gold EU Plus. This is an options trade. It's an options based traded product. Then we've got the 2 ETFs, which is options as well, but the ETFs. So they traded funds as opposed to traded products. So that's 35p from 100 Nasdaq 100 call. These are monthly payers, by the way. So the S&P 500 we just saw is a quarterly payer, and this is the S&P 500 covered call, 132p. Sainsbury's 970. Yep, it's dead. Ninda's still dead. Regional Week 25. EBSP Specialty Lending. They give you the normal standard payment of £5.50. Core was £8.9. Real estate credit investments, my favourite one, is £34.20. I've started reinvesting the dividend on that one to grow that payment. £3.60 then. Hey, we got something loaded, which is weird because I got no internet connection. Bizarre. That was Value and Index Property Income Trust. Income trusts are also known as investment companies. So it's investment trusts, they're called, but they're also known as investment companies. So a trust is the closed-ended investments listed on the official London Stock Exchange, right? That's their FTSE, that's their official sector. No, not sector. Yeah, sector, because you've got industry. The subsector is exactly the same. Closed-end investments. They're all classes. They're all called trusts, investment trusts, but they're actually investment companies. Try to explain that one. Some of these have been around since the late 1800s. Not this particular one, but some have been around since then. 18p from the JP Morgan USD Emerging Market Bond. Alright, that's bond. So that could be government bond, that could be the equity bonds or equity income. Some of the equities do provide bonds. So this will be going as well. So we've only got that government one. Then we got the Eurozone government bond, 10p. Again, a couple of these are repaying again. 26p on the USD Treasury bond, which is US government. 36p from the Emerging Markets Government Bond, and finally 67p from the UK Gilt. Then we have the Global Inflation Linked Government Bond, which is a mix of all the different ones. This is in pounds, that one is. the USD Treasury is in dollars. See, this is all in pounds, so it makes it a lot easier. Because I would be swapping some of the dollar ones I got back out into pounds because I shouldn't have done it in the first place, unless it was only priced in dollars, which a couple of them are. See, so but I had a pound version I could have bought. Did originally decide, I thought, no, maybe I'll go for the dollar. No, go back to the pound. It's a lot been easier because then I don't have to worry about the FX impact. So PIMCO US short term was £8.56. Then we had Lowland Investment Company, which is an investment trust. Lowland's the actual name of the investment company, but they've literally gone for their actual name, but it is an investment trust. Not to confuse. And then, as you can see, total dividends including that one is 4,874. This is a new global regular one. That's who we had. This is super dividend. This is a exchange trade fund. It is a monthly payer. Chuck them all in at some point just to see. Right. So, with that said, for the month of July, we had £110.56, and including return of capital, £707.08 for the year thus far. With that ends the flipping video, and I will see you all next month. Enjoy, have a good one. All the best with this mad world and how your stocks bear.